Today we're going to talk about passive income, and we're going to go over three things. One, how to identify passive income. Second, what does it take for us to build it? And third, how do we keep it and make sure that we're safe with it? So, without further ado, let's dive into these questions and let's get some. There's so much information out there, and there's so many things bombarding us on the internet trying to tell us that we have the ability to make money here, make money there, make an extra $5,000 here, all these side gigs and these, $700 an hour jobs that we can find online. And basically, those things may have some merit to them, but our goal here in this video is to understand passive income. And what that really means is that that's money that works for you even while you're sleeping. Now, there's really two ways to get this. So first, we have to identify the type of passive income that we want to build. So those two ways you're going to find in these areas. You're going to find it in business or in investing. Those are the two most leveraged places that you're going to be able to build a passive income. However, they both have a lot of risks. Getting passive income and identifying passive income doesn't start off by just being able to just go out and buy something and then all of a sudden you're making money. It doesn't normally work that way. However, there are ways where you can buy businesses that are already running or have been built specifically to give you passive income. You can find these things in Amazon FBA stores. You can find them in other type of drop shipping Shopify stores. I myself own a part of a e-commerce store that pays me every single month, and I'm not the one who runs it. So that is like, that right there would be considered passive income. Here's the thing, that crosses over towards the investing side as well, because I own equity in that company. And therefore, because I own equity in it, I had to invest into that company. And I took the risk of it making sure that it was going to be producing. Now, of course, I looked at the financials beforehand to make sure that it was already producing before I bought it. But that being said, there's always a risk with business. First, we need to identify the type of business, type of investment, and your risk that you really want to be able to put out there when it comes to getting your passive income. Now, on the last part of this is that your business or the business that you own, if you have one, can definitely become a source of passive income. Now, how can that be? We focus on leverage. And what leverage is when you're able to use tools, processes, people, and goals, and you have them all set out for people to systematically approach these goals. Or if you have less people and more code, software, to be able to leverage those four things, then great. Find a way to be able to have good employees or good robots that can make sure that those things are being done consistently for you. Then you are starting to go down the path of building a business that creates wealth for you while you're sleeping, or wealth for you while you're not there. Still, management needs to be involved with that. I don't think there's really any type of passive income that doesn't have some sort of management, whether it means taxes or whether that means that you're going to check it on your store, or you have to make sure things are going well. Once you have identified the right passive income that works for you, whether that is your business, whether that's somebody else's business, or whether that's an investment or a combination of those two, you want to be able to assess your risk. Now, here's another passive income piece that I have, is an Airbnb. And so Airbnb is somewhat passive. It is not totally passive, but it's somewhat passive. And what happens is that you get to invest money into certain things like beds and so on and so forth, and you have to clean up after the people as they come in and they go. So Airbnb would consider something that is somewhat passive. So it's not totally passive, but the risk was quite low for me. And so because that risk was low, I was willing to put the money out for it. Why was the risk low? Because it's in my house. And the worst that could happen is that they just don't book, right? And I just have a space that that nobody books. But if somebody does book, then great. So I was okay with that risk. And so everybody has a different risk tolerance. Building your own business. Well, then you have to be able to learn how to become a good leader so that you can then build a business that has people who can follow you and do the systems and processes in place to leverage yourself. The risk here is people. People are very risky because they can do all sorts of things. They can backstab you. They can try and steal your company from you. And people are quite risky, right? But no matter which way we take a look at this, there is risk involved when it comes to which one that you're going to pick. So we've already identified a few ways to be able to take a look at passive income. Now we understand that we have to choose our risk. And once we've found our risk tolerance, then it's time for us to make a decision and move forward. It's kind of the scariest part for most people. So they say, well, maybe what I'm going to do is this. And it's like, well, if you have a maybe in there, there's a good chance that your risk tolerance is, you're not in alignment with your risk tolerance. You've got to get out there and actually do the thing. So here's the last part. You taking action on building leverage. See, if I were to summarize this whole entire thing, it's that we're looking for leverage. Archimedes said this: give me a lever and a fulcrum big enough and I will move the world. And what he was saying is that if you have proper leverage, you can really move anything. How can one person make $1 billion in the same lifetime as somebody who basically just works a 9-to-5 and has barely enough money to pay their bills? It's because the knowledge behind leverage. Leverage is what's going to allow you to build passive income. How do you use your time more effectively, more efficiently? How do you have robots use your time? So for example, Airbnb does the marketing for you. You don't need to do the marketing. Therefore, you just need to know how to set up your page. Or if you put money into a company that pays out dividends, then as long as the company is running well and you've done your research and you've taken that risk and it pays you out every single month. Or last but not least, for your business, if you've learned to be a good leader, put systems and processes in place, be able to teach people how to use your tools, and have really good employees that follow your processes and continuously go over and over again, this gives you the ability to have a repeatable system that gives the same type of results. All right, with that being said, that's a wrap with finding passive income. You have to make sure that first you identify what you want to build as passive income, and then you want to be able to assess your risk, and then you want to make sure that you implement all the areas of leverage if it doesn't already come with leverage, right? Like a stock, it's already done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link below, and it's for my free group where you're able to ask any questions when it comes to business, to being able to make money, and to build your own company. If you're interested in any way, shape, or form in building your own company, this is a great place to be. We can interact with each other and ask any questions, and I'm more than happy to hear from you. If you haven't already subscribed, go right ahead, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I will talk to you guys soon.